What's up guys? So for this video I'm going to be telling you a story about the time I almost got unfairly banned from a shopping mall back in January of 2019. So it was a weekend. Myself and Abdullah were planning to see the movie Dragon Ball Super Broly on Snapchat, and we both agreed to go see the movie. I asked my mum, she says yes, I can go see the movie, and Abdullah asks his mum if he can go see the movie as well. He does that, she says yes as well, and we both agree to meet up at around 2 p.m. 2 p.m. rolls around and I set off to get on a bus and go all the way to the bus stop to meet up with Abdullah. So I get off at the very last bus stop. Nothing happens in between getting on the bus and getting off. So after I had gotten off the bus, I went to the bus stop Abdullah was going to get off at, and he's not there, so I wait for him a little bit. Like 10 or 20 minutes had passed and he still hasn't shown up yet. So I start getting bored of waiting and I decide to walk around the shopping mall just to kill time. And while I was walking around, for about 10 to 15 minutes of walking around this shopping centre, two security guards approach me and ask, "What are you doing here?" To which I reply with, "Walking around and waiting for my friend." The two security guards proceed to tell me, "Hey, you're banned from here," even though I did nothing wrong and I wasn't banned from here, but they proceed to tell me I'm banned from this shopping mall because me and many other college kids were vandalising stores. Apparently, a bunch of college kids were vandalising stores in this shopping mall, and these dumbass security guards think that I'm involved when I wasn't involved, nor did I even know about this. I wasn't even there when all of this happened. So the two security guards proceed to ask me if I have any form of ID, and the only form of ID I have is a bus pass. The other security guard was asking, "What about in your other coat pockets?" And the only things that I had in my coat pocket was my phone and house key. That is it. After the security guards take a look at my bus pass, they tell me this isn't a form of ID and give it back to me. So I get told to leave, then I get told if I ever come back to this shopping centre, then I'm going to have the police called on me and arrested for trespassing because I was already apparently banned from this shopping mall and a photo was taken of me because I apparently vandalised a bunch of stores in this shopping centre when I didn't. I tried arguing with the security guards. I told them I didn't do any of this, like I really did not do any of this, but they wouldn't believe me whatsoever, even though I kept telling them that, and I just ended up having to leave. So I did end up leaving. I went all the way to the bus stop to wait till Abdullah arrives, and that took a long time. He took 2 hours to show up. That's how bad he is at keeping track of time. I could have called my mum and had her talk to these two security guards, but I didn't think to do that because that didn't cross my mind. After waiting for 2 hours, Abdullah finally appeared, and it's like, holy shit, I've been waiting for him. I really thought this imbecile was gonna have me feel like I wasted my time waiting for him, only for him to be like, "Hey, I'm very sorry, I'm very unwell," and I would have felt stood up. You know, I definitely felt like that, plus I was ringing him a few times and I did message him asking, "Where are you?" and he would say, "On my way," but I felt like he really wasn't on his way if he was taking 2 hours or more to show up. He did appear, which was nice. It could have been way worse if he had stood me up. But good God, Abdullah is so terrible at keeping track of time. So I immediately tell him that I got unfairly banned from this shopping centre. He was like, "Hey, let's sneak into the movie theatres. The security guards won't notice both of us." So I agreed, and both of us actually managed to get into the movie theatre without me getting pulled over by the two security guards that spoke to me earlier. I was extremely worried about being spotted by those two security guards while sneaking into the movie theatre and the shopping mall. Luckily, I didn't get spotted by both of them. Both of us pay for tickets to see the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. We get in, nothing of importance happens other than me and him enjoying the movie, and the movie is awesome, by the way. It's after the movie, this is where the story picks up once again. So after the movie had finished, myself and Abdullah head to the food court. His mum and little brother are at the food court as well. By the way, when I was talking to Abdullah about college kids vandalising a bunch of stores in the shopping centre, he actually knew about it. I don't know how. He wasn't involved or anything, but he knew about it. I think it was through friends of his told him about this. Also, I told Abdullah's mum that I got unfairly banned from the shopping centre. So basically what she did was she basically walked up to another security guard that wasn't aware of the fact that her two co-workers unfairly kicked me out of the shopping centre. So after she receives this news, she basically asks me, so what do these security guards who spoke to you look like? And I described one of them, the other I didn't really recognise that well, but I was focused on the one that has a tattoo of his name on his right arm. She goes, alright, well, you four just enjoy your food here in the food court and enjoy the rest of your night. She also goes, I'm going to be speaking to these two security guards and find out why they decided to unfairly kick you out of here. Before going to watch the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, I had my phone completely switched off, and I didn't realise it, but when I had switched the phone back on, I had over 30 missed calls from my mum, and I also had 7 missed calls from my 2 sisters, and a bunch of text messages from all 3 of them being like, where are you? Like, how come you're not home yet? You're gonna have your Xbox taken away from you if you don't get back home. Answer me already, and it was just a whole shit show. So I basically answered when she had called for like the 35th time, and she was screaming like, where were you? I was trying to call you, but you ended up not answering, and you were supposed to be home hours ago. Why the hell are you still not home yet? It's literally 9 PM, and that was the truth. It was literally like 9 or 10 PM, but I do remember it being very late. So after she shouted at me for a good while, and I did tell her that there were 2 security guards that spoke to me earlier on, and I had to deal with that situation. Abdullah, due to his poor timekeeping skills, took forever to show up. Because of his incompetence at timekeeping, I ended up going home much later than 3 PM or 4 PM at latest, to being at home at 11:15 to 11:20 PM. So that was going to be another headache that I would have to deal with when I get back home. Because of Abdullah, he just sucks at timekeeping. He is so stupid. Myself, Abdullah, his mum, and brother all head out of the food court and exit the shopping centre and go all the way to our bus stops. We both go our separate ways, and I head on the bus that I need to get on to go home. So after I got home, my mum was waiting for me in the kitchen, and she was like, finally. Been out a lot longer than expected, and I've been trying to contact you, and so have, and she says the name of 2 of my sisters, but none of us could get through to you because you weren't answering your phone. So basically, I should mention this. My mum wanted me to have Abdullah give me his mum's phone number, so I did that, and then I just gave my mum his mum's phone number, and she actually just called Abdullah's mum, asking her what had happened to my son, and my mum basically just told me, oh, don't worry, like, just go up, I'll talk to you about it later on. So his mum just basically tells her that I was involved with a situation with 2 security guards. They wrongfully kicked me out, which I mentioned earlier, and accused me of trespassing, even though I wasn't trespassing. Plus, Abdullah, he took forever to show up, and I would have been home much earlier than 11:20, or a couple minutes before midnight, so I was home very late. Because Abdullah is a retard who cannot keep track of time, and I didn't even want to be out this late, I just wanted to be home before 6 PM, but it ended up being a couple minutes, maybe even half an hour before midnight. I can't remember, but it was definitely around 11 PM, like 11:20 or 11:45, super late. Anyway, after I had got home, I went in my room and just turned on my Xbox and started playing it. Luckily, I didn't have it taken off me because my mum understood why I was out for so long. She said to me that I could have asked her to come down and speak to the security guards that falsely kicked me out of there because I was vandalising a bunch of stores and I was trespassing on their property even though I did none of those things. That is a good point. I could have told my mum and she would have went down and dealt with this terrible situation, but I didn't think of that for some reason. I was just so glad to have gone home and this shit was over. Yes, the Dragon Ball Super movie Broly is fantastic and I really loved it, but everything that happened before it, like the security guard shit, and the fact that I had missed over 30 missed calls from my mum and over 7 from my 2 sisters, and a bunch of text messages which I did not respond to because my phone was switched off. It was just not fun. It was a terrible day for me. The next day rolls around, my mum actually travels all the way to the shopping centre and speaks to 2 security guards about this shit. I don't know if it's the same 2 security guards that spoke to me, or if it was 2 different ones, I don't know, but she definitely spoke to 2 of them, she told me this. So she walks in my bedroom and she basically tells me, I've spoken to these 2 security guards. Not sure if it was the same ones that I spoke to once again. She told me that they were sorry and that they wanted to see me, the 2 security guards she spoke to. I don't know what they would have had talked to me and her about if I had gone there, but I never ended up going there ever again because it's just not worth my time. I don't know if they would have just said sorry and that's it, or they would have given me something as an apology or bought something for me as an apology. I don't know. And I still don't know to this day. Moral of the story is, if you're a security guard, don't go up to random people that vandalised your store or stores if you're working in a shopping centre. Don't do that because you're going to end up accusing somebody or a group of people that didn't do something you're accusing them of, and you're just gonna look like an asshole after you realise they are innocent. Just double check who committed crimes. And the second moral of this story is, don't be absolute garbage at timekeeping like Abdullah is. Because if you keep your friends waiting for you for longer than an hour, then they're gonna not want to hang out with you ever again if you have kept them waiting for that long. And if you do that, you're just a fucking retard, like Abdullah is. Anyway, that is the end of this story time. Definitely a very crazy and wild amount of things that happened in this story. I did end up hanging out with Abdullah 2 times outside of high school after this, however, he didn't keep me waiting as long as he did when we both went to see the movie Dragon Ball Super Broly. I think the most I waited for him after this was like 20 to 30 minutes at most. I don't remember, but he's still a retard who doesn't know how to... He was still a dumbass that didn't know how to keep track of time, and he did keep me waiting for longer than 10 minutes. Hopefully now he doesn't do that anymore to anybody he hangs out with anymore, because if he does, he's gonna lose friends, and his friends will lose interest in hanging out with him very fast. Take care, guys.